Like you, I've been distressed by the images I have seen today. Thankfully, because of the work of law enforcement, the Capitol building is secure again, and the work of Congress continues. The president bears a great deal of responsibility for stirring up what took place today and should be punished accordingly, and those who were involved in the riotous acts on the Capitol Hill should also be prosecuted. But I'm not here to talk with you tonight about what went down today. I want to talk with you for a moment about what happens next. Tonight, as Congress resumed their work to certify the election, there were comments by leaders of both parties about how the work of democracy was not stopped and how the sacred work that they do on Capitol Hill continues, and that the insurrectionists did not overthrow this temple of democracy. I understand the spirit in which those words were given, and I understand the emotions that led to those words being spoken. But I want to push back on that for your and my sake. As a follower of God and who believes that Jesus Christ manifested the Spirit of God in his life and his death and resurrection, I have embraced the concept that God is not found in any man-made building, and that God's work is not done by the leaders, by the rulers, by a certain class. But I believe that the Spirit of God dwells in each human heart, and I believe that whenever 2 or 3 human beings gather together, God's Spirit is among us. And so I want to say tonight that as Americans, I believe a similar principle holds true for how we move forward. We do not need the men and women on Capitol Hill to tell us how to be Americans. We do not need their work to be done in order for us to continue as Americans. They are not in a temple of democracy. Their work is not a specially sacred work. Our work as Americans is sacred. And each American is a temple of democracy. And whenever 2 or 3 Americans are gathered, there the spirit of freedom and liberty reign. But we are at a difficult moment in our nation's history, and we are more polarized than ever. And the actions that took place today are going to happen again. And the question is, are you and I going to lean into this type of violent survivalist behavior? Or will you and I lean the other way and remember the call to love each other despite our differences, to serve one another even when it's difficult, and to figure out how to get along and resolve conflicts peacefully and nonviolently? Will we do that, or will we subtly or not so subtly support those who are perpetrating violence against others? This is what we have to decide right now, because in the months to come, we are going to have to stand up for what we value more than ever. And if we don't take a side now, we will easily be swept up in mob violent rule. We will too easily go with the status quo of fighting for our own survival instead of doing the hard work of working for self-sacrificial love and peace and justice for all. So I'm asking you, and I'm asking myself tonight, to ask and to reflect upon, am I willing to live up to the ideals of this country? Will I cherish that I am a temple of democracy and that it is up to me whether democracy flourishes or slowly dies? Thank you for reflecting on that and for being someone who lives up to the ideals of our faith and to the ideals of our country.